So, welcome to another lecture of customer service in the aviation industry. And here, first, we will understand the importance of customer service. But before that, I would like to discuss about airline and its nature of business. So, during the development of aviation industry in the early 20th century, airline was a transportation company that offered transportation service to the customers by air. So, air transportation, as we know, was not that common at that time, and people were actually afraid due to many accidents that had occurred in the past. So, general public still, prefer to take trains and ships for long distance travel. So, the main goal of airline industry in the early years was to carry customers from one place to another safely. So, with the low market demand, the majority of airlines at that time were either established by the government or partially funded by the government. So, according to the report of Airbus Commercial Aviation Accident 1958 to 2015, the number of accidents decreased steadily over time. And as the industries became mature with improved technology, air travel had also become the safest mode of travel. So today, if we are considering, so air travel is one of the most important transportation systems in the world. So now coming to airline customers hierarchy of needs first. So airline is offering safe transportation services in the minimum expectation to customers. And this is also identified as the basic needs of customer in air transportation. So here first we would be talking about the four important aspects, that is customer loyalty, competitive edge, cost to company, and happy customers. So when the safety needs are met, customers' demands are then expanded to facilitate at the airport and onboard aircraft. Customers evaluate the airlines by the type of hassle-free services and facilities available at the airport. So here, once we are trying to understand the concept of customer service, the importance, we would be using this model to understand. So to achieve the customer satisfaction, it is essential to understand their expectations first. So an airline company is offering services to thousands of customers every day, and customers have different expectations when in face with different situations, and their needs are not always the same. So if we are applying this model of customers' needs, so how do we apply it and how do we explain it? So airlines hierarchy of needs can be based on some principle, and airlines use to demonstrate customers expectation from the airline. So we say that this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which has been defined that an individual's needs are segregated into multiple levels. So once we are segregating this level in aviation's airlines hierarchy of needs, so we would be doing it in safety, facilities, personal service, loyalty, and then status. So let's understand that our most basic needs is first thing that motivates our behavior, and once that is fulfilled, it is our natural instinct to seek to move up the hierarchy and satisfy the other higher needs. So based on the same principle, the airline's hierarchy can be used to demonstrate customers' expectations of an airline. So here, if we are talking about applying the model, if you're talking about safety, so customers fleeing from an earthquake, disaster, or situations like armed conflicts expect an airline to offer more safe transportation and take them from the affected area. So these customers have low expectations, as the main travel purpose is to get to safety. So safety needs are the principal concerns, and other needs are not as important as to customers more than safety. Safety is first. Now, then talking about facilities. So, customers traveling with their families on vacations will again evaluate the type of services offered by the airline before they make a decision. So this is to ensure a comfortable ride, and more often not than that, these customers expect food to be served on their flight, some of entertainment to be provided, and assistance to be provided throughout the journey. So that makes happy customers. So now personal service, which will be facilitating customer loyalty. Now, customers who have been traveling with same airlines several times expect service agents at the airport to remember them by their names and know their seating preferences. So in this case, the standard of service offered by the service agents need to be the same, if not better, than compared to the previous travel experiences. Now, if you're talking about loyalty, customer loyalty, so this applies to customers who fly so often that they decide to fly with the same airline whenever they need to travel. So they make their decisions largely based on their satisfaction with an airline and the services that agents offer. So even though they are there are other airlines who are operating similar services with lower ticket price, customers will still pay more for these services and stick to the same airline. So they offer recommendations to their friends and excellent service provided by them to family, friends, and whosoever is along with them. Now let's talk about status. How do we build a status, and what is status actually? So these are the customers who have gained a high status in the airline. They have flown so often that the service agents at the airport and the aircraft remember their each and every travel detail. So all the service agents know their travel preferences and have already prepared in advance. So that is how these things work. They make happy customers, they cost to the company, competitive edge, and customer loyalty. So if we say that a customer arrives at the airport for check-in 1 hour and 10 minutes before the flight, she has no checked-in baggage. She always chooses seat number 11A by the window, and she always has um, she always takes champagne in the flight during her meal and a black coffee after that. So these are the things which we always remember, and this makes the status of the passenger or customer. And this comes to customer loyalty and eventually competitive edge. Cost to the company, we all know, doesn't matter, because uh, such passengers are very dedicated to the same airline. They stick to the same airline. And why? Because they are happy by the services. Next, these are the principles of customer service. What do we say? First impression. Of course, the first impression is the last impression. Then effective communication. If I am communicating with my customer, they are being liked to be addressed by their names. That means they feel important. Mission statements. Of course, every airline has a tagline, and living up to that is very, very important. So that is what we are talking here. Next, customer service policies has to be very, very appealing, and it has to be extremely good competitive to the other airlines, so that will only uh, make customers come back to you. Meeting customers need is very, very important, because only if we have big, big taglines and we do not implement that, we do not preach what we have been practicing, so we cannot practice what we preach, I mean to say. So that is again very, very wrong, and would again not give me satisfied customers. Next, what are the key elements of customer service? So first impression, always keep smiling, and you should be very, very well dressed. Company image, how the company is portrayed to the customer. So who is the person who actually portrays the picture of the company? It's always the airline staff. It's always the aviation staff, the company staff, who is actually portraying the image of the company. Next, speed of service. Now it is very, very imperative that once a customer is demanding something, you resolve it as quickly you can. You cannot leave it for days and hours to be resolved. So that is also very, very important. That also builds up customer trust, customer loyalty. Next, consistency. Now, it is very, very important to have consistent service delivery, what we give. Like, for an example, if I say that if we are ordering a pizza from Pizza Hut, so every Pizza Hut at every city will give you the same taste, the same consistent taste. So that is what we are talking here. Consistency is very, very important. Unless and until I get the same consistent service, if I get something in Delhi and something else in Mumbai, would I like to go to Pizza Hut? No, I will not. So similarly, it is with the airline organization also. If I do not give the customer the same consistent service and information, he will never come back to me. Meeting customers need, as we discussed in the previous slide, it is very very important. So it's always said that practice what you preach, anticipating customers' need. Now it is very, very important that I should anticipate customers' need. Like a very small example, if I'm having a wheelchair passenger, I should anticipate that yes, at the arrival and the departure station, at the both stations, he would be requiring a wheelchair, and of course, an assistance along to be helping him with his hand luggage or checked in luggage, whatever it is. Next, products and services offer tangible such as product and intangible such as advice or information. Now, whatever products and services we are offering to the customers should be complete and uh, should not be incomplete. I mean, it should be completely explained to the passenger. So, like example, if the passenger is booking a ticket from Delhi to Goa, so all the travel details, all the check-in details, all the information has to be there in the itinerary itself, so making things very very clear. So that's what we're talking, products and services offered has to be very very clear. Next, dealing with complaints and problems. Now this is the most important thing what travel industry faces, dealing with complaints and problems. um, Obviously, there would be no airline or no organization who will not have customer complaints. There has to be a complaint. But here, the main agenda is how quickly we can resolve it, how essentially and effectively we can resolve it. Now, here as an airline, am I able to resolve my customer's problem? So, that is the basic agenda here. How long am I taking to resolve the issues? Now, just an example, that if a passenger has lost his checked in luggage, he did not receive his checked in luggage at the arrival station. So, now how immediately am I, as an airline, I'm trying to track his bag? How immediately I'm making him available? So, that depends. So, now that is again affecting the brand name of my airline. So that is very, very important again. Now, meeting and exceeding customer expectations, very, very important. If I'm meeting the customer expectations and I'm exceeding it, it's a wow factor for the customer. Environment, safe and good passenger flows, of course. Now, how customers form their expectations? Expectations of the aviation industry can be made by marketing. A very, very good marketing team has to be there in order to actually try to recognize that the passengers are demanding what, and after knowing those demands, what all can be done to meet and fulfill the expectations of those passengers. Now, TV adverts and posters of airlines crew show what type of luxury or standard service the airlines gives to its passengers. Expectations can also be formed from previous experience of the aviation industry. Of course, it does matter. Next, the level. There are three levels of customer service in the aviation industry: on full service flights, on low cost flights, and within airports, smiling, nice greeting, less interactive with customer passengers. So, on full service airlines, it's a high service airline, and here you know that you don't need to pay anything, like say if I'm considering Air India or Vistara, you don't pay anything from the moment you board the aircraft till the time you disembark. Everything is being provided to you, so that is what we're talking in full service flights. On low cost flights, we know that the price of the tickets are less, so every luxury, every meal on board, and every extra thing which we are getting on board has to be paid for. Within airports, smiling, nice greeting, but usually less interactive with customer passengers. Now, within the airports, we find a lot of GSAs, customer service agents, who are not that interactive with the passengers. So here, what we are talking is the three levels of customer service in aviation industry. Now, within the airports, they are not the airline staff; they are generally the airport staff. Now, aviation organizations are that involved with customer service that the services within the airport, that ground handlers, retail organizations, and other full service or low service airlines are all involved. Next, meeting customer needs. Customers typically have two different types of needs. One specific need, needs for based on expectations such as perceived needs like comfy padded waiting area seats and all. Next, The advantages and disadvantages. Now, what can be the advantages of